Ladies and gentlemen, one dance lasts exactly 3 minutes. Don't waste yours on a girl who can't even stand.
The gymnasium was filled with expensive dresses, perfect hairstyles, and students laughing under golden lights.
Trying to hide the tear that escaped before anyone sees it.
Because for the 10th time that night, another boy looked at her wheelchair, looked away, and walked towards someone else.
The school's biggest dance of the year was supposed to be a night she would remember forever. Instead, it became the night she learned how cruel silence could be.
She wasn't waiting for a miracle anymore. She had stopped believing in those.
She was simply waiting for the night to end. Because every year the same thing happened.
People smiled at her, they complimented her, they told her she was brave.
But when it came time to actually include her, everyone suddenly became busy.
The reason was simple. At Westbrook Academy, the final dance of the night had become a competition. The most popular students chose their partners, and nobody wanted to be the person who looked different.
Maybe later.
But I thought...
For a second, Emily thought he might walk over, but instead he raised his champagne glass and smiled.
Ladies and gentlemen, one dance lasts exactly 3 minutes. Don't waste yours on a girl who can't even stand.
The room exploded with laughter. Tyler laughed awkwardly, then he turned away.
Because rejection isn't always loud. Sometimes it's someone deciding you aren't worth the risk. Near the back of the room, Matteo Santos watched everything. Nobody noticed him. They rarely did. Matteo was 17 years old, a Filipino orphan who had arrived in America 3 years earlier. After losing his parents in a storm back home, he lived at a group home across town.
Every evening he worked after school through a community program, cleaning tables, doing whatever he could.
And Matteo understood exactly what Emily was feeling, because he knew what it meant to enter a room.
And feel like nobody wanted you there.
Matteo, we need those tables cleaned.
Matteo looked toward Emily. She was sitting alone, watching everyone dance.
He looked at the tables, then back at her. For years, Matteo had convinced himself that staying invisible was safer. Invisible people don't get rejected, but something inside him changed that night.
He walked across the room. The conversation slowly stopped.
The orphan kid from the kitchen was walking toward the girl everyone ignored. Matteo stopped beside Emily and said, "Would you like to dance?"
Emily looked up. She almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because she thought he was joking.
You're joking, right? This can't be real.
Matteo, I can't dance.
He smiled. Neither can I.
She looked confused. You just said you wanted to dance.
I did.
He pointed toward the floor.
But everyone here thinks dancing is about looking perfect. I think it's about finding someone who makes you forget everyone is watching.
Emily stared at him. For a moment, she didn't see someone feeling sorry for her. She saw someone who actually saw her.
But she shook her head. I don't want people thinking you asked me because you felt bad.
Matteo became quiet. Then he said something nobody expected. "I didn't ask because I feel sorry for you."
I asked because I know what it feels like to sit somewhere and wonder if anyone would notice if you disappeared. Emily looked at him because she understood. This wasn't about her wheelchair.
It was about two people who had spent their lives feeling invisible.
The music started. Matteo carefully moved beside her, not pushing her like she was fragile.
Not treating her like she was different. Just dancing. They laughed when they made mistakes. They spun in circles. They forgot the audience, and then something unexpected happened. People stopped watching because they felt sorry. They watched because they were inspired. A few students stepped onto the dance floor, then more. Soon the entire gym was dancing together.
But one person wasn't happy. Tyler watched from across the room, because he realized something painful.
The person everyone ignored was the person everyone wanted to be around.
The next morning, a video from the dance appeared online. But it wasn't popular because of a wheelchair. It wasn't popular because of an orphan. It went viral because people saw something rare.
Two strangers choosing kindness when everyone else chose comfort. Millions watched Matteo walk across that room. Millions watched Emily smile. But the person most affected was Matteo himself, because hidden inside the comments was a message from someone who recognized him, a woman who had worked with his parents years earlier.
She revealed that Matteo's parents had spent their lives helping children in their community, just like he was doing now.
For the first time in years, Matteo felt connected to the family he thought he had lost forever. Then came another surprise.
The school created a scholarship fund after seeing the video. Students who once ignored Matteo volunteered to help him.
You shouldn't call him a hero, he's just Matteo. Not because he was famous, but because they finally understood who he was. Emily also changed. She stopped hiding. She began speaking at schools about inclusion. He didn't save me, she would say. He reminded me that I never needed saving.
And I reminded him that being forgotten doesn't mean being worthless. A few years after graduation, Tyler's promising basketball career came to an abrupt end, when a serious knee injury left him on crutches for months. For the first time in his life, he experienced what it felt like to be overlooked, underestimated, and excluded. It was during those difficult months that he often thought about Emily, and the night he chose popularity over kindness. The world teaches us what makes people different. True kindness starts when we see the person in front of us.